In this tutorial, we'll make this boba cup. We'll add Mona too, so let's start. It's pretty easy and you can do it even if you are a beginner. First open Blender. Now select everything by pressing mouse key and dragging. Press X and delete. Now on your numpad, select 1 to go to the front view. Shift A so you can add image, reference image. No, we can use this image as a reference image. Now you want to click here under Object Data Properties and select opacity. Lower the opacity so you can see through this and uncheck the perspective. We need perspective when you want to see this picture from other angles, but this is not going to be needed because this is just this angle, so uncheck the perspective so it doesn't interfere. So now, just while this picture is selected, this reference image, select G and press set to grab it and move it up. We want this to look something like this. Now we're done with our reference image. Now we're going to start modeling. We're going to press Shift A. We're going to add a cylinder. While cylinder is selected, press S to scale this. Okay, first we're going to start modeling this cup from the bottom. We can select this toggle X-ray, so in the edit mode, when we select vertices, all vertices will be selected. So now when we step into edit mode, when we select bottom vertices, you can see all of them are selected, and if this is not checked, you can see now not all of them will be selected. So press toggle X-ray. So now we're just going to select bottom vertices, G to grab them, Z to constrain the axis and grab them up. Zoom in to see what you're doing a little bit better. Select top ones, G, and you can grab them down. Now press 3, not on your numpad, where are your numbers, and top face, this is for selecting faces, press X and delete this face. Now go to 1, again not on your numpad, numpad is for our views. So now 1 on your numpad and we go to the front view. Now we want to select these vertices again, E to extrude them and S to scale them a little bit like this. Again E to extrude them, Z, so we constrain them top, and again S to scale them, something like this. Again E to extrude them and scale them a little something like this. We're going to extrude, and not up here but all the way to the top, and scale. This is going to be our cup and we're going to make this part later. Now extrude and scale something like this, and extrude set again. It's going to go somewhere like this and scale. This is how it looks. Okay, this is what we're having right now. Now when you go to the modifier properties, add modifier, select subdivision surface and select like 2 levels, viewport and render for 2. This is how it looks now. While it's in object mode, select right click and shade smooth, and this is how it looks. Go to 1. You can see we want this to be a little bit sharper, so what are we going to do is we're going to the edit mode, and now we're going to add some more loop cuts. You're doing this on these parts that you want to be more sharper because of the ways Blender actually calculates this subdivision surface. So now Control R, you can see this is adding loop cuts. Select like here, and now you can move it a little bit to the end. Again, we want another one here. Control R again and go to the top part. You can see something like this. Again, Control R and move them to the bottom. You don't want them to overlap these vertices, so just go again, Control R. You can do like this in the middle, and when it's sliding, if you want to constrain in the middle, just press Escape. Now you can do Control B and bevel this to add actually 2 loop cuts. Something like this. You can do this for the bottom part. Control R, click, now Escape, Control B. Not all the way to the top. So press Tab to go to the object mode, and you can see it looks much better. Now again, in the edit mode, what we want to do is actually, you don't want this toggle X-ray anymore, and for when you click this like display, when you uncheck it, it's like not using it at the moment, not showing it. Press Alt and the vertices, so you select this bottom circle, and you can now press I to inset it, because you want this to be a little bit better modeled. So now we're extruding this a little bit up and scaling it, so it somehow looks like a cup. You can extrude it and scale it again, so this face is smaller. Go to 1 on your tab, and this is how it looks. Now you can rename this as a cup, so we know what's what, and you can like uncheck hide for now because you want to model this part without seeing this other one. We want to add modifier. We want to add Solidify, so there's a little bit of thickness. So adjust thickness of the cup how much you want it, something like that. Cup is pretty thin, and move this Solidify before your subdivision surface. It's looking something like this. Now we want to model our top part. Press 1. Now we want to add all this top part of the cup. One of the ways is start modeling again from the other part, but also we can do this. Select the bottom part, go to Tab to switch to the edit mode, and let's select Alt and one of these vertices in the middle, click in somewhere in the middle, so you can select this loop. Now you can do Shift D to duplicate it, press Escape to snap it back into the middle, and press P to separate, and you want to separate by selection. Now when you go to the object mode, when you press this circle, it's going to be another part, not part of that. So let's call it top. Select one and now start modeling. Go to the edit mode. Again, you want to go to toggle X-ray, so you'll be able to see everything and select the back vertices. Press A to select all. Let's scale this. Grab. Okay, this is going to be our top part. Now E to extrude. You can see set to constrained and scale to follow our object. Okay, it's looking like this right now. You want to select top once again. E to extrude and scale. You want to go to this part, and now you want to extrude again, set and scale. You can see you already have Solidify and you already have subdivision surface because you have copied that from this part that it's already with these modifiers. You can also shade smooth. Go back to the edit mode. Now Control R to select and scale. Follow the vertices. Control R and scale. Control R, scale. Now you can see this part, so we're going to add more loop cuts there. So again, Control R and move it bottom part. You want to add this too. Select. Now again, press Escape to snap it in the middle, and Control B to bevel this. Let's do like this because we want to add these parts again. Also, again, Control R, scale this a little bit. Add more. Scale a little bit so it looks smoother. Control R, scale. Take your time, easy. Now go to the top part. This is our loop, so Alt and click in the middle. Go back to 1. We want to E to extrude and scale. It's going to be somewhere like this. You can see this part when our straw is resting, so this is going to be middle. So again, extrude, set, something like this, scale it a little bit. You can see it looks something like this. If you want to not use subdivision surface at the moment or solidify so you can see better, looks something like this. Again, add some more loop cuts here. Control R, and this is how it looks like. And go to tab mode, and it looks something like this. So we want to add now these parts that are going in. Now in the edit mode, you want to select, press 3 to go to the face mode, face selection mode. You can see now we can select faces. Again, Alt and somewhere in the middle, so you can select this loop of faces. Now, when you go under select, you can do checker deselect, and now you have every other face selected. You can see now you were going to do now I to inset and inset it a little bit, and you're going to extrude and scale. So you're going to extrude it a little bit in there. Do I again to inset it a little bit more. So this is what we're having. Go again in the Solidify subdivision surface. We have something like this. We can use that. It's okay from now. Now you want to add mesh and cylinder for your straw. Scale it down. Scale it to the thickness you want. Scale, set, so you can scale under set axis. Grab it. Okay, let's scale it a little bit more. You can see we want it a little bit thinner, something like this. Let's scale under set again. It's going to be something like this. You can select object, set origin, origin to geometry, and rotate it. And you see if this is like something you like, if this is touching or not. Next thing you're going to do is going to the edit mode. Press 3 to select faces, press top face, X, and delete faces. You don't want this part. Also, when you want to see just that one part you're working on, press on your numpad this like slash, and it's easier for you to work on that. Select the bottom part, X, and delete faces. Now press Ctrl R to add a loop cut. You can do escape and Ctrl B to bevel this somewhere to the top, so this is the topology you want. You can add now you can add modifier. Let's do again, like we want solidify, so it's not infinitely thin. Straws are pretty thin. Make it something like that, and add modifier. We're going to add subdivision surface, and we're going to shade smooth. Now again on your numpad, press slash like to unseat. Now we want to model this paper part. So select our cup, go to the edit mode. We're going to the face selection. Again, select toggle X-ray and select all these faces. Do Shift D to duplicate this. While you're grabbing it, before you press anything, press escape to snap it back and P to separate by selection. Now when you go to the object mode, selecting our part, it's going to be duplicated. So it's going to be our paper. We are going to go to the edit mode, Control R, and we're going to actually add loop cuts here, and at the bottom it's going to be somewhere like this, because now press 1. Again, go select top vertices X and delete vertices. Select bottom vertices X X, select bottom vertices, X, and delete vertices. Now select all and scale a little bit. Control R and do Control B to bevel this. Almost to the top, but not exactly. And this is how our part is going to look like. You want it scale a little bit so it's not going into the cup. So something like this will be fine. Go to 1. You don't need our reference image anymore, so you can delete it or like hide it for now on. So you have this. We'll go to second tutorial to make it more real and add materials. Save it, Control S to save this. Let's call it Boba clear cup and save Blender file.